across the road, hard into the pit wall, crumpled up and then bounced back across the track, disintegrating as it went. Alliot, amazingly enough, was unhurt. And even more amazing, the car was repaired for the race the next day. The accident not only...
And now we're going to see what happened. Yes, and Prost did indeed go off the track, and he's...
And that's the reason why, a complete free... And here is the car to watch, I think. Alboreto. And off goes Briard. Well, oops, off he goes. Pit lane, here's a replay. Goes pit lane and losing it and shattering the camera and shattering the motor car.
Often see fireworks with this man. I don't know what happened there. De Cesare is going straight on and bang.
That put paid to their chances of getting through.
Well, just as we saw a red flag just at the end of Berger's lap, but that is an almighty shunt from Nannini and the Benetton Ford. And I'm not really quite sure what he did, because he came into the corner, looked very normal, and all of a sudden the car just... Again losing the car. This time he manages to keep the engine running. Up the curb. Wide and losing it and spinning, and he's gone out of camber shot. Bang! He hit the... Oh, no. Two wheels, in fact, almost four wheels that went off the track completely. The car then goes into the spin, flies a little bit. Now he's heading straight for that wall. Fortunately, he spins it. The right front hits first. But he gets, I think, really, he's probably been winded more than anything else. The impact, in fact, wasn't that big.
And Prost hits him.
1:15.5. Now we see a replay of the impact here, and that's Modena losing it coming out of the previous corner. And that was a...
Here it is, there's Suzuki going off, and you can see that was at the S's, and it was...
But not for Eric Comas, who crashed heavily in the fast Blanchimont sweep before the pits. Ayrton Senna was...
And John, you can say whatever you want.
Well, again, as I said, irrepressible Alesi coming up to pass Morbidelli. Morbidelli pulled car shot of it. Back end stepped out. Again, running a very, very low downforce package, I suspect.
Oh, Johnny,
spin.
And that's another one for this time. This time Johnny's done a more comprehensive... Oh, there we see it. Oh, yeah, he was lucky. That was very nasty, because the car came across the track. Don Allard. Oh, and he just
corned incredibly wet here in the Ardennes, as it's likely to do. And poor old Gianni Morbidelli had this very, very long spin in his Minardi, digging up lots of real estate, backing into the fence and doing a lot of damage to his car. Limit mechanics, a lot of... Gerhard Berger going down the straight, just absolutely floated off on the water and really totally destroyed the car. A little bit of an oil fire, but luckily, get to end Saturday afternoon off. Poor old Martin Brundle breaking for the hairpin. Did not know that Stefano Modena was about to attack him viciously behind, putting both the Jordan and the Benetton car.
Eccolo, è uscita in questo momento, sbattuta, volato l'alettone verso l'interno, anche in modo pericoloso, pensando che c'era una posta.
Della terzultima curva sta andando verso il guardrail, la sua Benetton. Lo colpisce, il musetto.
Olha só o que ele faz. Bateu de frente. Bateu de frente. Olha aqui, o absurdo do Jean Alesi é o seguinte. Ele vinha fazendo gracinha no traçado. Para fazer gracinha, tem que fazer gracinha por dentro. Quando ele viu que vinha um carro, achou que o treino tinha terminado, pancada feia, feia, feia do Gerhard.
Bateu na segunda vez, você viu? Ali ele já bateu uma vez de frente, vem bater de frente de novo, ganhando velocidade, porque o carro não está apenas tocando no chão, mas quase sem atrito. Veio ganhando velocidade, olha como se atira o fotógrafo.
Almost got it all wrong. And that's Martin Brundle.
No, that's JJ later, actually, one of the towers.
Oh, and he does make contact with the barrier. That's the right rear cabin, and that's a place we've seen incidents throughout the weekend. And ooh, the right front takes a bashing now, the right rear as well. And there's now not just a but Gerhard Berger suggested now a mirror of Jean Alesi. Riccardo trying carefully to reverse the car. Is the trouble, and curbing often a function of accidents, particularly in the wet, because the paint, well, it looks...
Er fährt nach wie vor erfolgreich Autorennen.
Wie wird es denn im nächsten Jahr weiter?
Left of your screen, oh, well, that's flash fire, that's just literally the... On impact, a little bit of
fuel vapor, or certainly probably oil vapor.
For the inside, gets it all wrong, and then there is only one place he's going to end up, and that is in the tire wall. Rear first, front follows, bang! Oh, and that is very, oh dear me, and Schumacher.
He is removed to hospital unconscious. Sauber withdraw Frenson's car.
And that is not the intention. Oh, bang, well, surprise, surprise! Which I expected to happen maybe a little bit later in control in the right-hand part of it. He's got the brakes locked on. He knows what's coming up. He hit the barrier 3/4.
Andrea Montemini going into the tyre wall very hard, and John, that was a very heavy shunt indeed.
Right.
Dann nochmal die Raskas, nochmal ein McLaren Mercedes, aber diesmal nicht Häkkinen, sondern Blundell.
It's almost a mirror image of what we saw from Jean-Christophe Bouillon, and look at the impact. Heavy impact on the left rear. He'll have a stiff neck. Look at the way his head is being tossed around, and very lucky. In fact, the car did go over. We didn't realize when we saw it. Then whips back again, a vicious, unpleasant.
ちょっとブレーキングでバランスを崩してコースアウト。右フロントをだと横としてクラッシュ。
Dell emerged from this to start 23rd on the grid for today's Japanese Grand Prix. It was a similar accident yesterday involving Japan's Aguri.
Ja, eraf. Hij houdt hem nog netjes, dat moet gezegd worden. Maar uiteindelijk moet hij dan toch aan de rechterkant van de baan voor u links de muur opzoeken. Gelukkig beschadigt hij niet al.
That is not for Jacques' trouble. He just let the car run too wide over the curb. The bottom of the car begins to raise the car off the ground. Whether he's off the throttle or not, we can't tell. But there you see how much loss of control Villeneuve got himself into, and that was a very, very high-speed incident indeed.
Has been on the front row of the grid for every race this year, as you see Lamy spinning in front of his teammates.
Oh, just went one way then the other. Now that was almost identical to what happened to Eddie Irvine this morning in the Ferrari. Suddenly, oh, the worst thing was he hit that tower wall, and you see his hand come up, catch the side of his head, hit a brake problem, or he just braked too late. This Hartberger, precisely the same part of the circuit that Jean Alesi got into trouble. For Gerhard, it appeared to happen slightly earlier. And again, you can see the tower wall did the job it's there to do.
It's out one of these polystyrene boards.
Yes, but look at the gravel that's thrown on the track. Looks like Gerhard Berger comes round, gets it all together. Pretty good slap into the barrier. Left-hand side of the car, looking at it.
Вот нам показывают, повторяю тот момент, когда Динец вылетел.
Turns into the corner. Look at that. He's into opposite lock. He's flying over the ground, and then that heavy.
Very close between. Oh! And
Hier nochmal in der Zeitlupe. Ja, ein heftiger Abflieger und dann in die Reifenstapel. Hat sie wieder abrupt abgebremst. Wir haben das schon ein paar Mal gesehen in diesem Jahr.
session left, and that's as a result of that. Giancarlo
Fisichella, where there's a compression and the car hits the ground hard, and that's what Fisichella's just hit a very.
Das Ende zumindest dieses Zwischenfalls.
Lucky to walk away from this high-speed crash. In fact, he was so relieved he didn't walk.
Мы видим, потерял на торможении перед рассказом. Очень опасное, кстати, это место, потому что после выхода из вам все ловушки для пилота, точно такая же авария, как у Рубенса Баррикелло. Точно такая.
Gerad, der Dreher, und da ist nichts mehr zu kontrollieren. Das sind gut und gerne 200 Stundenkilometer. Ganz harter Einschlag. Das sieht schlimm aus. Aber Sie sehen, wie die Fahrzeuge der Williams natürlich zerstört. Und das erinnert mich an das Training am Freitag. Prellungen gut überstanden hat. Also Sie sehen, das ist heftig. Er hat auch gar keine Chance da noch zu reagieren. Die Geschwindigkeit ist einfach zu hoch. Er ist mit zu viel Speed in diese Kurve hineingegangen. Und da sind schon, Sie sehen es ja.
Is losing it on the way into Estoril through the gravel trap. The car's bouncing, so he just can't slow down. And there goes the front wing. They often get broken off. They're very susceptible. That's going to go in the wall. And as you saw, he had to jog back to the pits. Louise is down at Arrows.
It happened.
That's the bumps in Megula again, and it sends you slightly off to the right and immediately off the race. Self silly, jumped on the brake pedal, and there's not much he's going to do from that. That's a big crash. He was just way too late on the brakes. That is a big impact.
And you can see the cushioning effect. There's still a massive blow, of course, but they take a lot of the hardness out of it.
I have to
say, I thought the Jordan got out of the way well early. So Frentzen there, pretty angry.
And off goes
obviously somebody
hard indeed. He's an extremely nice bloke. This is what happened. But sadly, he just has not been able to reproduce.
Ricardo Zonta in the BAR. The Brazilian demolished his car when he lost control at almost 200 kilometres an hour during the morning session. Zonta was
far. First, former champion Jacques Villeneuve had this terrifying lose-up the second time in 24 hours. The high-speed ballet continued when teammate Ricardo Zonta demonstrated the enormous strength of today's Formula One cars with an almost identical shunt. Same plot from their cars all season long, and both will start in T-cars. 79. Now Eddie's no stranger to the Suzuka circuit, but will need to drive a little better than this.
Wenn es nicht Ausfall von Ralf Schumacher, oder kommt er nicht mehr zurück auf die Straße und schlägt ein. Beim Anbremsen, ich habe gedacht, das ist ein heftiger Einschlag.
Первой шиканой и разбивает машину об рельс безопасности. Да, ну что же, тем временем он уже седьмой, потому что...
Ha fatto un ottimo tempo oggi, è vicinissimo alle McLaren.
Questo è il secondo incidente di Ginetta.
Penso che...
Au détriment de David Coulthard, e voici ici une...
Riuscendo per la prima volta nel corso di questo fine settimana a sopravanzare il compagno di scuderia Heinz Harald Frentzen, particolarmente brillante. Un'uscita per Genet, e invece per la Minardi non è un gran bel fine settimana.
Unfall, Coulthard!
Coulthard schmeißt übersteuern.
Paff, Coulthards Abflug. Hände weg. Da hat er die dritte Unterbrechung. Und jetzt!
Жан-Ализи разворачивает, и есть удар, к сожалению. Причем две подвески, например, у команды Фрост. И чуть-чуть дольше будут работать механики. То не судите, как говорится. Педро де ла Роза, к сожалению, который свой последний быстрый круг, замедленный повтор. И был удар у Гастоля не после быстрого круга, а лишь в начале зло. Как раз в тот момент, когда он находился на быстром круге, произошла вот эта авария Йоса Ферстаппена, которая в замедленных ситуациях лишнего круга не прибавляют в Формуле 1.
After going second quickest in the Williams, Big Gruff fastest in the spare car. David Coulthard was third quickest in his McLaren, while Jarno Trulli,
South American and Rubens' former go-kart combatant, Juan Pablo Montoya, had trouble early.
Is Jarno Trulli.
I think there's a big shunt out there somewhere. Sorry to interrupt, but it's a Jaguar.
He was test driver. This is what happened.
But there was something wrong with that car. That wasn't Bertie's fault. Right. There was something wrong with that car when he went through turn 5. Just
the brake pedal went down. I couldn't brake into the corner.
Uneventful, but Alan McNish certainly added some spice in qualifying for this race.
So he's way offline. What was he doing in that part of track anyway? It looked like he was far too quick into the corner or just something, and he got onto the gravel, couldn't control it. What's on that white line, that painted line? Just...
out of the car and has been taken.
Wait for the rain or not, because if it does start to rain, there's no need for him to go out again.
Sorry, Matthew, but that's...
Trulli crashed in the warm-up, but turned in a great lap in his spare car. In an earlier round this year, he might want to start from pit lane for what it's worth.
Well, you can see his simple fundamental error, but a lot of people made mistakes there yesterday, Bill. It was quite surprising. Full strip on the red and white ripples.
That is where he starts making mistakes and getting hurt.
Oh, he's had completely taken the nose off it.
Wide and really doesn't get it sorted out early enough and tries to complete his lap. We think he's now crossed the line, and as he was tearing corners off it at the time. That was a relatively simple, relatively slow speed, but nasty little lap. And De Matter is already on the racetrack, of course, for his out lap, so that lap will be aborted.
Getting all out of shape
You can see up onto the grass. He's a passenger at this point. Whacks that board. Whacks another one. Bits of polystyrene.
Oh, now he's gone way, 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 and he'll hit the wall hard.
That's exactly.
Genau, der Ausgang, Turn 9, läuft unter der Bezeichnung...
Oh, so nicht.
David Coulthardin ennen tätä päivää vajaat 800 sekuntia.
Ja ero kavereiden välillä oli melkein.
Seeing the Armco barrier on the left-hand side, perhaps thinking already about the corner afterwards, but putting...
Always had a bit of understeer there, so that's why I this time decided to anyway. But it just was enough to touch the barrier.
Qualifying. Backs are off through the sand trap and up into the wall. 4 of Scott Speed running wide on the exit curbing at turn 1 and the Toro Rosso with the restricted Cosworth end. At that point in the corner, as he came off the corner, he's 100% flat in the throttle. He said knows the Toyota up the inside of Pedro, who was on the race line. Very minor damage on the McLaren. Didn't even get 9 on the grid tonight, so they can renew.
And the back end's a bit light. He's hit the brake pedal and lost it.
And 10 zone, braking downhill into the left-hander.
It had gone, but I think the wheel had probably knocked that off already. The right wing off. So, I mean, that is very worrying.
Raikkonen, but in fact, this is Sakon Yamamoto, I should start by saying, and
off the brake to try and straighten it, but then overcorrected, so it's an odd one.
And there is a trolley at the edge.
He must have gone a long way down the hill then to hit. And he'll be thinking, what is going on? Soft barriers down here because on the way in. How unusual is that? What's that all about? That's sort of nomad.
Please stay with it. Please turn it off. Please turn everything off. Pit lane entry.
Oh, he's going in the barrier with enough time.
There's the accident.
Oh, look, problem with the car. Accident, and presumably...
weird corner, which would maybe suggest...
Den Vettel, den überholte er in La Source oben, fuhr ihm fast ins Auto. Sicht.
Und weg ist es.
Gleiche Stelle. Sich 7.
Und dann weg. Dem Auto kann er nicht mehr fahren. Es ist immer dieselbe Kurve. Nein, nicht immer.
Harmlos für das, was es ist, da rein. Absolut in Ordnung. Und er hat einen Sorry.
In Buini und schlägt frontal. Ja.
Almost collected as well.
Yeah, part of the braking zone. Middle. Damp turn 4 and a reasonable. A bit clumsy really. And cars on the racetrack, to be honest, and avoid incidents it's not really an intent. So he navigated beautifully through the middle of that. Well, the hill, and he's hold a bit of excess water.
Corner.
Yeah, just
the Ferrari and the McLaren, not sure, but it's dry at the moment.
Right-hander keeps it out of the barriers. Curbs too hard, had a little fly. So much when you land. Remember the driver couldn't on the curb. Again, well, that was a full loaf of bread. Broken the front suspension off. There's curb and a little curb, and that's the point where he's for his car. But
this weekend.
Yeah, I think he lost a wheel. Look, coming down
there, Martin. There's no... You're absolutely spot on. Eagle Eye Cherry.
Cassez.
I don't know what happened there, but...
Were able to start another lap.
Then there between Lewis Hamilton and Maldonado, and then takes a swipe at him.
6, does he get out onto the curb and actually makes...
Weren't broken by that brush. Well, what the brush...
And veered into the barrier.
Oh, he's going to lose that into the wall. Oh, he's going in the pits.
Well, whose fault's that?
Whoa, it's going round. Is it?
Putting his foot in. Vettel just caught the problem, yeah. Ooh. In there, Petrov's wall. Oh.
Swapped ends coming through, heading into a spin long before he... And seeming he's run wide. run drum
wing before, just from the other angle. It is.
Kamui Kobayashi looking.
Oh, we see that so often, don't we?
Right rear suspension damage as well.
But now from this man here, Maldonado, who's clouted the.
Just too greedy through the broken track rod, and now he dipped his wheels onto the grass again. We've seen.
However, we saw Lewis Hardo having a moment out of qualifying.
Peeking into turn 3, didn't even make it to the corner. Brakes were locked up. It probably.
Oh dear, and there goes Charles Pic. As we watch what happened to Gutierrez. It's a hefty whack. The performance.
In fact, there's a load of Ferrari bit. Didn't. Wow. Do you know, I don't.
Yeah, the wall.
So the rear wing barrier. So, and we got another car off in turn 5. It's Van der Garde. And he gets on the grass. That's why he's warning.
As the session ended. And then just couldn't hold it. Field. And summer conditions and helped by a bit of
penalty for Marussia, but a
straight run, but it's.
Yeah, see, did you just see it? Right rear tyre, that little.
Picks up the throttle, back end, and because he sort of.
Oof, dear.
Because we see it heavily. Oh, that's weird. Oof. A bit of drainage.
Oh, and that was very nearly. Oh, and it was. You know, ooh.
He braked a little bit early, actually. He was still on the top. So he hit and he skidded all the way.
It's that comes in. It looked a little bit like this. And that's where the coming together.
Got out of shape on the brakes and then tried to. Boom. Ferrari didn't see his flying lap. And the tyres just.
Yeah. What happened to Max Verstappen?
A bit of smoke coming out the back of. He's on the way in. Complete driver in and a tank slapper into the barriers.
Out of turn 19, that's where he banged.
Yeah, lit the rear. Just on the apex. I don't know if Nico Rosberg did exactly the same thing yet.
But you shouldn't be on that line in the wet.
Yeah.
10th, Felipe Massa on a lap. No, turn it just no
blocking. Don't know what happened right.
Oh, what's that? That's the.
It's a 10th time.
Oh, Nico Hülkenberg. Like this. Oh dear.
You can see the flat spot on Lewis's already. It's not.
But then we.
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll talk to you again.
Still, he went too wide. He's the governor there.
Is that
Romain Grosjean? That would mean.
Breaks the steer. Yeah, there goes the steering arm. Safer barrier, and that is how easy it is here.
Bang.
Just going to miss with the front, but the
well, I won't thank him. The track and
it's pretty annoying, yeah. He's been a bit.
Yeah, it wasn't really on the main straight.
Oh, there it goes. Yeah, and now it's got a thing as well. That's captive. Yeah, so he's. I think the DRS is not helped by the fact that the car always accelerates.
But Ricciardo lost it. Red flag.
He's lit up the boost. I just kept it out of the wall. Okay, you have a puncture.
We'll see the checkered flag. Oh, Willie!
That's going in the wall.
That is. See the checkered flag, spin round a couple of times, and that is going to Esteban Ocon because they've all got to back off because there's a Sauber strewn across the track and now lying right in the middle of it. And as it was. It is turn 4. He's clipped the inside curve, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Some more work for the boys tonight.
And that's what happened to Pascal Wehrlein, Martin, down at turn 13.
Yeah. Lobs it in, back end.
3-5-0.
Seems better now. Let me know.
Okay, good.
Laps of a couple of drivers. Let's see what happened.
Presumably, he's gone in and the back end's come round. That's very unusual for a Formula 1 car to spin like that. Oops. Yeah.
Tyre came off the rim.
Yeah, the rim looks broken though, doesn't it? I think that's had a little chat with the wall somewhere.
And now Stoffel Van Dorn, he's won here in GP2, Martin. He's had great times, but his first experience in a Formula 1 car. It does come back to bite you. Here's Martin. Oh, he does touch the grass. It's hampered his teammate, Marcus Ericsson, who was about 5 seconds.
He got a oh, how did he keep that out of the barriers? Lewis had all.
Danny Kvyat properly lost that, didn't he?
board with Grosjean now.
He's in the tracks, then he's slightly left of the tracks. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's the second application of the throttle. He got up on top of the water.
It was stupid to lose the quali, sorry, it was stupid.
Patience is reward.
He's got oversteer again. The car is pointy like crazy. That was trying to crash, wasn't it? 3 corners earlier. Really what we call a pointy car where you turn.
And
round already.
catching Hamilton
it's in
out.
the barriers.
And no chance to stop his... Let's have a look from the overhead shot. We saw him having problems there yesterday, as you mentioned.
Speed in there. I drew breath as he tipped it in there, look. And the back end just won't live with it.
And this is what happened.
So he's gone wide in 1 and straight to the scene of the accident on the outside of 2. Stayed on the throttle, engine still revving there. So he's got a little bit wide and just wouldn't give up on it. Just a little touch on the grass. And with the front and rear in like that, that's a huge amount of damage. This is turn 2. He's going to go out on the curb here. And no, he lost it in the apex. The back starts to step out as he turns into the corner, actually. He didn't even get as far as getting too high on the curb. And takes a bite out of the wall. It plucks the angle. You have to hope that doesn't punch a hole in the chassis.
Are you alright, Max?
Possibly in the style of Antonio Giovinazzi, who was in that Sauber last year, who did exactly the same thing.
Something looks very unstable at the back of that car. Has he had a whack against the wall?
Okay, Charles, can you continue?
Yeah, I can.
The space, I wonder.
Is that teammates as well?
I do wonder if that wasn't Brendan Hartley in the way there.
It was teammates.
So Pierre Gasly, no wonder. And that could have been very nasty indeed.
I think this...
Worse for them? Oh, yeah, they can. Stoffel Van Dorn is ahead of Hulkenberg and Lance.
Formula 1 car crash like that on the exit of turn 12. They've got nothing to lose in terms of it's his last lap of Q1. He was a long way wide.
And took quite a bit of the advertising boards with him as well there. That is not where you want to end.
I did a mistake.
Copy, Charles.
Ooh, and that's Charles Leclerc, who did very well there, Martin, to avoid the barrier.
My car is broken. Sorry. Yeah, it's fine.
It was nearly broke as well. In the Williams of Lance Stroll.
Whoops. Whoa, come back. He's just dropped it under braking, and then you start the downshift process, and it's locked the rear axle very hard, effectively. And it hasn't hit the barriers.
Around this track to be so close. This is Brendan Hartley, who 3.
I don't know what happened, guys. Check the car, please.
Pierre Gasly missed out as well. The Toro Rossos, because Bottas went off in the rain.
Whoa! And to drop it in Blanchimont, not hit it, that's a miracle, frankly.
Yeah.
Now. It's really, now who's got any kind of wet setup, any kind of...
Oh, he's had a spin.
Well, that's going to open his eyes rather than...
This is up through Dunlop, tailwind. Oh, he's just run out of road.
And that's never going to end well.
It says if you can't open the lap, you're not going to finish it off.
Hello, Charles Leclerc. That is a very Egner.
So both Toro Rossos are through to Q3 at the moment by the looks of it.
Fastest, and Lance Stroll out too.
Another little tap there for Kubica, but yeah, that's a shocker. Gasly 17th, Sainz 18th, and across the grass in turn 11 goes Robert Kubica in the Williams. Self-inflicted damage, and the tyre disintegrated on its way down to the fastest part of the track.
To Robert Kubica.
Well, he was very committed to the inside curve there. I know they've all been jumping it, but he was almost touching the wall, and we just see here, is he going to touch the inside? He's locked the front.
Too much speed approaching the corner.
Yeah, and he didn't bail out, did he?
Oh, Charles Leclerc, you have to feel for the young... And hitting the wall, Danny Kvyat.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he's locked the right front. Now he's had to turn into a slide, and that horrible sick feeling. He might get away with the front suspension, actually.
So, ended into the barriers.
Looking at the sort of a pace, Albon leads across the line. That's a crash, and it is the Haas of Kevin Magnussen. And that's going to compromise his teammate Romain Grosjean, who was the next to cross. Well, let's just have a look here then. Takes a bit of curb. Oh. And absolutely no avoiding that whatsoever.
He'd got it all lit up. He was
off the track. What happened? Whoa! He had a spin. Yes, he has.
Oh, rear wing as well.
Dear.
That's another Charles Leclerc mistake, I'm afraid. At a pivotal point, he's done a fast enough time to get him through. He needs to get back.
Let's have a look on the run down to the Parabolica. The back end just went.
Yeah, he is. He's through the first sector.
Oh, that's Alex Albon, and he's gone into the barriers at turn 13, and he's gone in a very hefty way.
He's not locked the front. Oh, he's just carried a bit too much speed, and you can see when the rear becomes disconnected, it's like somebody pulling up the handbrake. And yeah, I mean, for somebody that was low in confidence already.
You okay?
You have an accident. Let's just have a little look. He's got on the grass. Oh, once you get on the grass, Paul, there's no escaping.
No, it's not like a car snapped or anything. He just ran out of road, didn't he?
Oh, dear. And this is Robert Kubica, who was retired, if you remember, from Sochi, because the team were worried about spare parts. We're trying to make sure they didn't run out of spare parts.
You okay, Robert? Yeah, I'm okay, but
Kevin Magnussen, oh, the wind's got him already. And he's just a passenger, isn't he?
But you could see he was actually trying to do the best he could as he was reversing in the wall there. But you're never gonna be quite up to speed to save that one.
That to me, Paul, looked like a gust of wind and nothing to do with driver there at all.
I actually stopped, but it was when he released the brakes at that point.
Yeah.
On it went, but of course what he was trying to do was avoid the car.
He crosses the line, stays second fastest, and there is the Mercedes. Well, the Mercedes have found
anybody passing a yellow flag.
Oh dear. Did he catch the curb there? He did, didn't he?
And then that piece of barrier sticks out, doesn't it? The polystyrene bit that eventually hits sticks out.
And that's
he's really trying to find himself some space.
And is that tyre's too cold?
Yeah, he's waited so long, he's not really pushed it on the outlap, and that's a beginner's.
8th fastest, Perez still at the bottom 5. No, and that's it for Antonio Giovinazzi as across the grass he goes, and into the Armco he goes. George Russell.
Spun, I spun.
Okay. What happened here?
Oh dear.
Car's okay and tires okay.
Okay, cool.
The line was fine, but he just ran out of grip. Clearly the rear of the car didn't stick with him.
Could not find enough purchase to slow the car down, and he's straight round as well for good measure. Type slide, plays with the brake pedal and squares it.
Not going anywhere, and there's another red flag. I was going to say he's not going anywhere in a hurry, but it's the second red flag of the session. The clock stops at 3 minutes and 34.
Yeah, I mean, he'd got it completely under control, solid. And if that's a gearbox change, might give him a grid penalty as well, for good measure.
Just lighting up the tyres.
Nice spot.
And that might not be the end of the story as well, because the stewards are going to look. Let's have a look then.
It was, it got a bit of a swapper on in the middle. As he corrected it, it bit, and around it went.
Gearbox at the very...
Yeah. Oh, he hit the barrier on the way and then broke his track rod, broke the steering arm, and straight to the scene of the accident. So this is where, oh, he missed it by a long way, didn't he? And 3 wheels on his wagon, effectively, and just a little ski slope to help him on his way towards the barriers.
But, and this is what happened to Lance Stroll at turn 15, and the wall comes at you very quickly indeed.
He should have bailed out of that first lap, but he's tried to stay with it. And, you know, the walls around here, you know, you need to be inches away from it, and you can...
And Stroll are out through crashing at the same corner. In Q3...
it's too late. It's too late before he even goes on the brakes.
Pushing too hard, I wonder, who would have been behind Yuki Tsunoda. He then locks up and slides his way.
That'll be a gearbox as well.
Oh.
Solid. Yeah, no worry.
So did the crash of Tsunoda catch Carlos's attention, and could that have been part of the reason. Goes second fastest overall, and that is Carlos Sainz at the final corner. Red flagged the session.
So that was a combination of the tires on the rear just raging hot and the wind from the back, and he just took a bit too much speed in. And these aerodynamics nowadays on these cars, they're so sensitive. Once you get a big step out, you lose a lot of downforce, and then it just...
Lando Norris will have to stay out there.
Did the McLaren go round?
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. That's Lando Norris. Erosion up to a Radeon. Lando Norris has had a big off.
There's a lot of standing water. He's now back in the line. Yeah, oh, I see it. It just started to wander into an oversteer, and he had to correct it, and it was the correction that actually took him into...
Oh, as Giovinazzi spins and very nearly. Yeah.
And you can just see how close that was, but Leclerc and all the...
And that is Verstappen's spin.
Well, mate, I tried to take it careful, but somehow it's still no good.
Harold Tarder, he's fighting it all the way, isn't he?
Yeah, he just got a little bit wide and tried to stick with it. So he's got wide, now he's on the dirty part of the track, can't get it back onto line, and straight to the scene of the accident.
3 at turn 15, some stones maybe, oh, and it was just on the curb.
It was on that curb, and then basically the front wing broke the tyre. The front wing came off, that's how it looks to me.
Spoil the Mercedes party and ruin that one too as he hits the wall. Proved to be won with one too many corners for Max Verstappen.
And will that have damaged it under control? Got a little bit greedy on the exit of the very...
Taking the corner at about 106 miles an hour. Oh. Took his hands off the steering wheel, and I'm not surprised either.
I crashed, guys.
Okay,
sorry.
You okay? You okay, Nicky?
Yeah, I don't know how the rear just let go there.
I hate to predict because we're not that far off knowing, but yeah, I'm confident.
Oh, Otmar! We'll just leave it there as Mick Schumacher hits the wall. 2 tyres coming loose. They're going to...
Oh
dear, their brakes on fire for Alex Albon.
That'll be a red flag, I would suspect, for the amount of debris that's on the track.
Of the top 10.
Oh, he's just lost the rear, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, he's not done anything massively wrong, but just wasn't necessary when he was in the position he was. He's going to definitely not sleep well tonight on the white line.
Yeah.
Just not there, is it?
You've got to stay off the white lines. In the dry, you were all right.
Oh, look, he managed to get all them when he was in the gravel. Very quick thinking. And that's what saved him. Look, he spun the rears up.
Into 14. So he cranked a lot of steering angle in, and the curb induced, look, it was already sliding.
7.
Yeah, he just asked too much. Normally they swing to the right. Braked.
And I think I might have front wing damage.
2. Another 90-degree left-hander. No,
I think he's tried to carry on with that set of tyres that he kind of flat.
Now, Sebastian Vettel.
Oh
dear! I'm about to say, really going for it, but just like...
Check the brake pedal, it feels a bit low.
So he's locked the right front, then both fronts, and...
Sergio Perez, it's like we say, it gets tricky. You go onto the intermediate tyres, and the grip that was there now isn't, and that is a fair clonk into the Tech Pro barrier.
Yeah, so he's locked on the way in, and smartly realised he got to straighten the car.
Slick tyres. Can George Russell compete with that Red Bull, but it just wouldn't turn in him.
Tyres too cold.
Pretty much most of this season so far.
Oh, it's going round.
Oh, Max Verstappen spins round. Watch Alexander Albon.
Schumacher's lost his time as well.
That's the spin for Alex Albon. But what we've way then towards the stadium section. Oh dear. That, well, towards the final. Going through 130R, and then suddenly Verstappen, whoa! The FIA 30R incident between Lando Norris and Max Verstappen after the qualifying session.
Let's have a look at it. Here we go. Under braking, okay. And it's gone straight through the gravel, trying to keep it out of the wall. Oh no, George, you did keep it out of the wall, then you spun it into the gravel.
That was by trying to correct himself the right way, he managed to beach the car.
So easily done. It's like a big pendulum swinging.
With Nick de Vries spinning it to turn 1. Whoa. That is way too much engine braking. It was pulled on.
Yeah, just suddenly a massive rear lock. And that's a driver that missed all of the...
Whoa! Then that final corner gets really, really...
front left steering.
Getting his push.
So he's got it into turn 1, then we're at turn 2 now, and he's just trying to pick up some throttle.
And for Logan Sargent trying to make amends and facing the wrong, and that is him losing the car over the apex of turn 23.
Oh, I'm surprised that you can do that and not find the wall on the exit there.
This is him losing it, turn 13.
Yeah, the problem came on the entry. He just had the lock-up, forced him fractionally.
Exactly what he did in free practice, and, you know, at that level, that's just not acceptable.
He's been struggling with the brakes all day, Checo. As he said, in free practice he had one trip through the gravel, another almost trip through the gravel at this corner.
We didn't sort out the issue, man. It was the same.
One, it punishes driver errors. That's a huge one from Checo. First flying lap of the day, he's got no time on the board at all. And Perez, have a look then for Nick. End of a long straight into turn 3. It's a left-hander. And yeah, he's way too quick, but he had to be going down the escape road, go basically straight on. Instead, he was caught between trying to make the corner and diving out, and he just had way too much speed. Brakes late, and then he was never going to make that.
Oh my god.
Deep into the corner once again, further on than De Vries, but the corner ripped off at the back, and that will be a moment of dejection for a driver that has gone. Is very nearly into the wall. Down as he sweeps through, sparks out the back of the car, can the Monegasque driver. Oh, he's lost it! He's lost it! He's spun off the road and into the wall goes Charles Leclerc.
It's so committed, and it was looking like it was the basis of a great lap. They got too greedy on that left-hander, cut across the ditch there, and it's just brought the rear round. It's one of those situations, if only it hadn't gone sideways, that could have been a great lap.
I'm sorry, guys.
So under braking, maybe missighted slightly by the car coming out the pit lane, but otherwise just way too much speed on entry. He commits aggressively, which is fine on turning, but the rear just couldn't keep up with the front, and that was actually a sizable hit into the Tech Pro. So we'll need to see whether that's actually done the gearbox as well.
3.5 tenths of a second away from the benchmark set. As we see him just...
It was understeer, actually. Just carried too much speed, didn't quite get the turn in. So was that enough just to be a kiss? Or
Did he tap? Yeah, is he going to tap the barrier here? There you go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Wow. No way has he kept that out of the wall. Lance Stroll playing one of his jokers for the season. How is he not painted down the barrier?
Wow, he's just flicked the front. Yeah, just desperate to get on the throttle, had a little play and then went harder on the gas. There's a short straight coming up after it, and it's quite important, and just too much right pedal there for Piastri. Slam into the barriers that greets you right there on the...
Round goes the Alfa Romeo of Valtteri Bottas, not facing in the right direction. He's got many podiums here in his history, but he has found a moment at the exit of turn,
which was fastest initially. That's already being beaten by several others. He's light, he spins. Lewis Hamilton spins off. Now can he get it out of the gravel? He knows what he...
And Hamilton there just turned it in, and it was one of those things, you're carrying dry speed. He had good commitment on the other fast corners, but you touch a damp part and you suddenly got no grip at all, and it's way too late to save it because you're offline and you haven't got the right tyres for that bit of track.
Here's just a quick replay. Yeah, pretty standard here.
Whoa! Lando Norris, heart will be pounding after that moment. It could have been the end of qualifying on a day where he could be at the front.
Lando, we have possible front wing damage.
Yeah, he ran through the gravel at such high speed. You can see the front wing, the floor sparking.
And off the road has gone Esteban Ocon.
I hit the wall, guys. Now I think the front wing's gone.
Through Rivage, this is the corner where Ocon hit the wall, and it's rear in for K-Mag. So how did he end up just in front of Pierre Gasly then? Because I thought Gasly had enough space to start a flying lap.
Change of tyres and not run, and that was very close to contact.
So I don't think that's Oscar on a fast lap particularly.
I couldn't see a thing.
On into third position is out for Logan Sargent though. And Sargent finds the barriers on the slick tyres. The man who
accelerated towards the barrier. No,
was the last thing that he needed out of the final chicane.
The car started getting away, and then he kept his foot in, and already he was just...
Is he going to drop it over the curb? That is a strange one. On the exit, as Piastri heading in to Yung Chao corner, no grip and lucky to keep it out of the barrier.
Slippery, and you're committing like it's a qualifying lap. That is what happened. Only person that's gone out on a used tyre. So he's...
Oh, Carlos Sainz puts 2 wheels in the gravel, spins round and hits the barrier. Sainz, one of the 4 men of the season, has dropped it at the final corner to exit qualifying and bring out the red flag.
Yeah, sorry guys.
Oh, Fernando Alonso! Is he going to make the corner? We waited for him to exit the Tamburello. We're on board with him into the first chicane.
Yeah, commits to the apex, runs out of road, and then does that double run through.
Onto the softs. Now, let's see what happened here, Julian.
He's had just a small snap on the way into the corner, but then when you're on these slick tyres, you have to stay on the dry line. And just a small oversteer plonked him onto the wet stuff, and they're down at turn 8 in the middle sector, and it's another moment for Perez when the rain started to fall that he's found grass.
Oh my word!
He launched off it, up high into the barrier.
Okay, something happened. Sorry.
Very, very unusual wide, but you would have expected Julian just to see the rear step out on him, but it actually looked like the whole car just was...
Oscar Piastri ringing the speed from the McLaren car off in the background there. This is Carlos Sainz building up to push. He gets out of the way of Oscar Piastri. We saw him. Now listen in.
Oh my goodness, rear tyre.
Been coming through just behind as well, so that's bam, Sainz into the wall on it.
Back. That is the moment that brought out the yellow flag. Around goes the Williams, and he finds himself trying to catch the moment of the rear stepping out, unable to do so, and that is his that neutralised the end of the session. Let's listen on board, heading into turn 19 with George Russell. It is an illustration for how much speed they...
Yeah, the car is safe.
They're daring themselves to the limit. This is the moment that ended Q2. Yuki Tsunoda breaking on the curb and spinning into the wall.
He's on the limit of absolutely everything. Big front left lockup, doesn't want to back out of it, turns in, too much speed on, and the rear just snaps round on him. The lockup meant he just didn't slow up enough and paid the price.
Liam Lawson, a couple of moments before, this is how the RB driver skated off. Here's the second car to struggle, locking up this time, Zhou Guanyu.
I mean, identical carbon copy of what we saw from Lawson there. Gets a very similar thing, just taken to the grass.
Finds the barrier to bring out the red flag, and our first interruption. The most important thing is that he is okay, and it was always going to be tricky for him to master these conditions.
Sorry, mate.
You can hear that he's understandably downbeat on the radio, but that was always going to be...
Not a lot of standing water, then you go downhill. Oh, wow, on the power, down the hill in almost a straight line.
Start the session. This could be the moment that changes the World Championship. Not for Lance, not for Aston Martin. He's on board with Fernando Alonso. Let's listen in. A big hit into the barriers.
You okay, mate? Yeah, sorry.
And the man who went past 400 Grand Prix appearances last day. This is the moment that sent the Thai driver locking wheels, spinning the car and into the barrier.
Hit the inside wall. There you go.
De Haas in the Qatar sprint. Can he get ahead now? Oh, he's dropped it out of the...
Battery all the time on this one. He's wide again.
Wide and off. And Liam Lawson finds the grass. He was in touch. Flags. Lewis Hamilton in 6th, and round he went.
He's aggressive on the throttle. Trying to...
Into the middle part of the lap, out of 9, and spinning backwards.
The look and feel to what we saw in Melbourne. Tyres clearly just not quite...
This is going to be where Stroll dropped it then earlier on in the lap. Wide on the turn in, found the less grippy part of the circuit. Desperation then kicked in. He's trying to keep the speed, and he's just had to turn 1 nicely. Opens up 2. Yeah, there we go. So he's losing it already, the exit at 2. Then he goes out wide to the curb. It's actually not the biggest impact into the wall.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay, sorry.
Let's have a look at it. Coming in towards turn 4, he used everything coming out of 2. He's got wide eyes, similar. Yeah.
So early, and a minor moment with a major repercussion for the World Championship as Norris goes over the curb and into the wall.
So it's a similar moment to Oscar just running wide through 4. Turns it in, he's slightly wide, jumps over that curb, but he gets the... He's clipped that inside barrier.
Yeah, popped the tyre, hasn't he? So he's done the opposite.
Okay, mate, you okay?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm...
Front grip, and that's taken him into the barrier. Very, very unfortunate, but tiny margins on this circuit.
Season substitute for Jack Doohan, who started it, and round goes Colapinto. go! Into the gravel and out of...
Really tricky traction zone. He's gone out wide, he's gone over the curb, and when he's already got the rear sliding around, he's got loads of steering lock on, and then he's getting out to that curb, and he's driving a difficult Alpine. All of it means you're going to spin it round and tap the barriers.
The crowd on their feet to see the initiated the commentary curse. He had Hulkenberg trying to fight his way by and contact in the pit lane.
He turns it for the grass. It's a simple one. That runoff area is so steep as well.
Oh, it's fast, but I'm bringing it back.
Well, it's a mistake, but it's not a mistake a race driver should make. Explain.
And Alex Albon has tagged the wall, and his qualifying session, huge on promise, will come to an end. He's the first driver to tap the back.
So, turned it in, realised then he wasn't going to make it, tried to turn back out, he's found a soft Tech Pro barrier, and he's hit it.
And that's it. Chance blown out in the first part of qualifying. One Alpine to another. At the exact time, one Alpine in the runoff, loses the car, and hits the wall.
Let's have a look at what happened to Behrman then. This is into turn 2, so it's just a sort of nothing-y. Massive blow, is it, to the right?
Charles Leclerc found the barriers.
He's just got no grip. He's got no grip with the rain coming down, and he locks the left front, but he's just...
Impressive all season long. A worse starting position of 4th. Ends in the barriers, and the championship leader is in the wall. On the line. Norris, scraping.
There's going to be a bump as he turns it. Yeah, I think it has got loose over the bump there at 6. It was carrying a lot of speed back into low fuel, and the car just sort of skipped before that point. Let's see Leclerc. He got to the final corner, so one at the first, one at the last. Wow.
Oh, and round he goes. A complete 360 for Charles Leclerc. He'll get another go, but it fell apart at the end for the man who won. Third, lock up for Behrman, won't make the corner. Stroll goes fastest. Piastri gets his lap in when he needed it to the barrier for Oliver Behrman, skating. So goes to 5th. Albon now in the drop zone, needs a lap and he tags the wall. The Albon, Antonelli, Bortoletto, Sonoda and Lewis Hamilton. Deep breath, everyone. Here we go. Oh, and finally, he can't catch it. A huge high-speed spin for Charles Leclerc.
Oh my goodness. It was coming.